All right. Thanks everyone for joining today's match day -1 media availability with Nashville SC head coach BJ Callaghan ahead of the team's match tomorrow night at Geodis Park against the Columbus Crew. Coach, first of 2 matches in 4 days at home against Columbus on Wednesday, but also earlier this morning it was announced that Sam Surge and Hani Mukhtar have been added to this year's All-Star team. So if you could start just by sharing a little bit about their selections and then of course what you expect to see from Columbus Wednesday night.
Yeah, I think we're super proud of Sam and Hani to get the recognition that, in my opinion, they deserve. I thought from the beginning they've had an all-star level season, so I think it's a great honor for them to be recognized. I think it's also a testament to sort of the team that we have here and their contributions to the team's performances. So far, it's been a good 2/3 of the season, and again, I think you see individual accolades come when you have a really good team and a team-first mindset that goes from the top to the bottom of the roster. For Columbus, we're excited to be back to Geodis Park. We know it's a place that we've had a lot of success this year, put in some good performances, welcoming a really good team, a team that's in really good form. They're healthy. They've got a lot of depth, a lot of really strong players. Wilfred's probably one of the top, if not the top coach in the league. He's got a great staff, so we're expecting a real high level battle and one that we'll be up for.
Thanks. We'll start with Ben and go ahead and ask you, Kevin.
Yeah, you just talked about Sam and Hani, and obviously they're kind of big pieces of your attack and your. I know you've talked about wanting to score 50 goals this season. How do you feel just about the collective ability, not just for Sam and Hani, but to create and finish chances, and where that kind of is at this point in the season?
Yeah, I think they've been the beneficiaries of really good team performances. You see, these guys have to get service from somewhere. Someone has to provide goal scoring opportunities, and I think there's been a great cast. And Andy Nahar made the All-Star team primarily based on his ability to earn assists and be an attacking-minded fullback. I also think that Sam and Hani can't just be focused on by the opponent, because we do have a lot of attacking weapons. So you kind of, if you want to focus on 2, someone else is going to step up and get it. And I really am happy about the team and how we've been scoring goals across all phases of play, right? So we can do it in build-up, we can do it through transition, we're doing it through attacking set pieces. And so for us, again, we know if we continue to play the way that we want to play, and we're consistent with it, and we stick with it, individuals would get recognized through really good team performances.
And then I wanted to ask about Darlington Nagbe specifically. I think he kind of maybe goes under the radar a little bit, but against Cincinnati, he was just press resistant and kind of at the heart of everything they did. How do you plan for a guy like him who kind of looks pretty nonchalant, but just does all the stuff that you could want from a midfielder?
Yeah, I think Darlington's great, because I think to a casual soccer fan, maybe you get drawn to goals and assists. And he doesn't get a lot of goals and assists, but he rarely makes a pass to the opponent, rarely gets dispossessed, and he really controls the tempo and really sets the tempo for Columbus. So for us, it's making sure that we're aware of him, where he is. The more that we can force him to play backwards, I think helps, for us. But yeah, I mean, his credit is he's been doing it for a long time. What a career, and he does it, week in and week out, and that stacks on to years in and years out. So somebody we have to be really focused on, somebody we are going to be focused on, but at the same time, he's not the only thing, because Columbus is really good, and we've got to stop a bunch of guys.
Okay.
Yeah, BJ, you had Philly, then Miami, and Columbus in the league at least. 3 Supporter Shield contenders coming in back to back to back. What's the difference between playing those teams who are, upper echelon of MLS versus DC, who aren't a bad team necessarily, but just struggling when you meet them? How is the preparation different between those 2?
I think when you see teams like Philly, Columbus, Miami, right? The games have less moments in them, but like the games are. Each team is trying to execute what they want to do. You have to execute what you want to do at a high level, and then you really have to take your chances. So for us, it's like when you get into these high level games, it's about really how can you execute, and when you have these moments, finish. And I'm not even just saying scoring goals. It could be making a block on a goal scoring chance, making a big save or a clearance or something of that nature. Like, you have to be really dialed in, because if you're not, really good teams punish you right away.
And then on the MLS transfer window is kind of ongoing at the moment. How involved are you? I know you have a lot on your plate, obviously, on the pitch, but how involved are you in those discussions and stuff that's going on kind of in the front office?
Yeah, I mean, I think I would always say we're really collaborative here. So I always say, like, I have a seat at the table, but I think there's a group. There's obviously a group, and and of course I have a seat at a couple other tables that I have to take care of as well. So we've got great trust in starting with Mike and Chance and the whole scouting department, but we're certainly working in a really collaborative way. Not only during the transfer window, but throughout the whole season, and we're always going to try to improve our squad. We owe it. It's our obligation to the fans of Nashville to constantly try to improve and put the best team out there that we can. But yeah, I would say we're collaboratively working all the time to improve.
Right.
I know you never want to lose, but does this allow the team sort of a time to sort of reset in the final third of the season?
I mean, for us, I think it's just each game gives us an opportunity to learn. Miami brings some unique challenges to to the game in a good way. So I think for us, it was just, winning or losing, it was just an opportunity for us to kind of, look at and maybe reflect a little bit on where, we could be better and where we got exposed. The other thing it gave us an opportunity to reflect on is, like, we never set one of our goals this year to go on a 15-game winning streak or, non-losing streak, whatever. We set our goals that, we want to build a style of play. We want to compete with the elite of North America. We want to earn our way into the MLS playoffs, and we want to compete for the trophies that we can. 15-game winning streak or not, whatever, winless winning streak or not, it doesn't matter. We still have all of those objectives to go. And so for us, that's what we're focused on. We're focused on that each day when we think, kind of where we're going. And everything we have is in our control.
Columbus is coming in. They're, speaking of streaks, they haven't lost since May, I believe. Is it different playing a team that's sort of riding that high than a team sort of like DC or something like that?
Yeah, the starting point is Columbus is a really good team. It's going to be a massive challenge. But, yeah, when you throw in belief and guys in really good form, for sure. You can see the game versus Cincinnati. Nothing rattles them. They go down 2-0. And they're such an experienced team, a team that's been together for so long, a team that's added some key pieces. That it's going to be, you need a complete performance for 90-plus minutes to beat them. And that's what it's going to take for us.
We got John on the Zoom.
BJ, I wonder if you could talk maybe in particular about how your approach has been in terms of bringing Walker Zimmerman back into the rotation, and then maybe in general, what your approach is with so many games going on now. Your approach to rotation, is it just a matter of looking at minutes played for guys, or is it more of an eye test when you see them and determine what kind of condition they're in?
Yeah, with Walker specifically, it's just making sure that we're, I would say, ramping him up in an appropriate and safe way. He had the opportunity to go with the national team, which is always a great honor. But at the same time, they're playing a lot of games, and he didn't get a lot of playing time. So, we just have to make sure that we integrate him and start to build his, I would say build his game minutes and game load and training load so that we don't have these big spikes and put him at injury risk. So we're, since he's returned, we've been, working with him to do that. In terms of squad rotation, yeah, whenever you're going to play this many games in this short of a time, you're going to count on a lot of players. I would say that it's a little bit of a mix between, game minutes and sort of just general fatigue. But also when we think there's certain tactical matchups that can, essentially maybe exploit an opponent, we want to work that into sort of our strategy on how we rotate and when we rotate.
One more. Apologies if you've referenced this lately, but just wondering if there's been any update on Tyler Boyd, or if he's getting any closer.
Yeah, Tyler's still on the exact timeline that we've had him. He's integrating into, I would say, elements and pieces of team training, and still continuing to do his extra work out on the field. But he's out on the field every day, running, shooting, and that type of stuff. So again, we're confident that he'll be back in basically the timeline that we expect.
Claudio?
BJ, when you look at Columbus and how really well armed they are, just about every piece in the field. But mainly, I want to ask about a couple of guys. I mean, of course, I'm sure you're going to be worried about Diego Rossi, his scoring ability, but also maybe one of the players that perhaps we don't talk much around the league, but he's to me at least, he's one of the main players in the league, and that's what and it seems to me like Columbus has been around him. He's played for many years, Nagby. What can you tell about these two pieces in their formation?
Yeah, I think when you look at Columbus, it's a really balanced team. So you have a guy like Darlington Nagby, who I think is, as secure on the ball as anybody in the league and sets the tempo for them. You have Diego Rossi, who's a player that is comfortable in between the lines, running it back lines, making final passes. Doesn't matter how small the space is. He's someone who wants the ball. And then you can't be left to not be said that they also have a bunch of guys that will run behind the back line. So you start to decide which one you want to stop, and something else is going to be open. And so I think it's just such a really well-constructed team and a well-coached team that can, hurt you in many ways. And I think that's also why you've seen such high-level success and sustained success against them, because they can beat you in multiple ways.
I apologize, BJ, if somebody already asked that question, but I just got here. What does it mean for you as a coach to see that for the first time ever this franchise has 3 players called into the All-Star game, especially when you are your full first year in charge of everything here?
Yeah, I think the whole organization is super proud that we're able to do that. And again, I think it's also important that those 2 players that have been here. Hani's been here for 4 years, more than 4 years, but 4-time All-Star. Great to see Sam get the first time, and then also great to see Andy, who is someone that we acquired in the offseason to come in. So just different ways, different positions, different profiles, able to do it. And I think, again, it speaks volumes to what we're trying to build here at Nashville from the top to the bottom, and being really intentional in how we want to play, and again, continue to build this sort of team first mentality that individuals get recognized, and there could be more guys on our team that could be deserving of the All-Star nods, but that's okay. We'll stay humble and we'll stay hungry, and we'll try to finish the last third of the season off really strong.
Thanks, Coach. Thanks, guys. We'll be right back with Sam.
Thanks, Coach.
Thanks, guys.